So you've been elected to the board of directors. Yes, you've run for the board. You became a member of the co-op a few years ago. You now realize that it's your cooperative and civic duty to become a member of the board of directors and help govern the co-op, because it truly needs your guidance. You're elected from your peers on a democratic basis, and you're getting ready to attend your first board meeting. And you're wondering, wow, what are my real duties and responsibilities, and how is being a member of the board of directors for a cooperative uniquely different than being a member of a board of directors for another organization, or a school board, or a church board, or some other kind of a board? Well, first of all, understand that you represent, you're a customer and you're an owner at the same time. Those are two different hats. And if you think about it, as a customer, you know, when you're not in the boardroom, you have your customer hats on. You're getting goods and services from your cooperative on a daily basis every time you engage the cooperative. But as a director, you're also governing that co-op. So you think, might those two items come in conflict? And yes, from time to time they do. So let's talk about what those circle of responsibilities really are for your director role. First of all, one of the first and most important things as a member of the board of directors is you represent the membership. You don't represent just one member. You don't represent all members like you, but not other members that are not like you. You represent all the memberships. So if you happen to be a particularly larger operator, one that uses the services more, you must also consider the needs and services for those who don't use the co-op quite as much, smaller members, and take their considerations into account. You're not just beholden to your own peer group, you're beholden to all of the members of the co-op. Your first responsibility is to establish policies and to identify how does the co-op run, or to review the established policies that are already there. Identify what's important about those policies. Why were they established? How often do we review what those policies are? One of the classic policies is the risk management policy, so that the co-op can continue to be safe and secure business, because you have a stewardship responsibility, a fiduciary responsibility to each one of the owners of your cooperative. The next place is one of your jobs is to hire and to supervise the management of your cooperative. Typically, as a new member of the board of directors, the manager is already in place. He's already established, or she is established and in place, and they've been around for a couple of years, 3 or 4 years. But it's also your responsibility to evaluate that and to make sure that the mission, the vision, and the value of your particular co-op aligns with what that supervisor is. It's also your responsibility to set up the priorities. How is the co-op CEO or management team going to be evaluated? To set that up and to do that in an unbiased way. Your next responsibility is to oversee or supervise any acquisitions, new business developments, or new projects. Now, as a new member of the board, you may think that it's an open board that everyone is a member owner of, and everyone should have a privy to what's going on inside the boardroom. But this is a common flaw in our cooperative business model, because as a director, it's important that you keep in the boardroom those discussion items that are necessary for the board to discuss, and not talk about them outside of the boardroom. Until the co-op, until you come together and you've agreed on a policy or agreed on a particular service or a product and are ready to announce that to the public, it's important that you keep all that information private that's going on inside the boardroom. Another key point is to realize that a co-op board of directors really speaks with one voice. You know, if you are getting to a point in time where you'd like to make a decision, but the decision is a split decision and you've got a few people opposed, then it's important that you make sure you try to bring as many people on board as possible, because those boards of directors members that are detractors of the decision that you're trying to move forward on can be major challenges down the road. By speaking with one voice, then a unified voice, then you send a clear message to all the other member owners that you're representing. The The last piece we'd like to get into is it's your responsibility to inform the members. It's not enough just to gather information from the members, to establish policies to run the co-op by, to hire and supervise and compensate the management team and the CEO, but also it's your responsibility to report back at the end of the year or periodically through newsletters, correspondence, magazines in some ways. So how's the co-op doing? What are the important items? So as a board yourself, you can write and report back the success that the co-op is achieving. And if you've had good times, if you've had some real successes, then those are things that you want to share back with the membership. If you're having a challenging time, particular things that are changing in the marketplace, unexpected competition happening, again, as a co-op, you're a group of common individuals who cooperatively own the business yourself. Share that with the other member owners. It's also their responsibility to help you work through some of the challenges. Many decisions are big enough to where, as a board of directors, you'll need to enlist the aid of other members. So it's very common for our co-ops to have advisory committees to come together to once a year to advise the co-op board of directors and the co-op itself on what the needs are of every individual member